Follow the link in the description and use promo code PIZAL to get $2 off of Munch Pack and get candy and snack items from all over the world that you can't buy in stores delivered directly to your door. Hey, what's up, people? PIZAL here, and continuing my Holiday Horrors Volume 2 series of Christmas-themed horror movie reviews. Today I want to talk to you guys about Black Christmas. Not the 1974 Bob Clark masterpiece. I'm talking about the 2006 remake of Black Christmas directed by Glenn Morgan. And now I can vividly remember when the Black Christmas remake was announced, and our collective dread, all of us horror fans, all of us Black Christmas fans, we all knew it was going to happen. At this point, they were just remaking everything, and we all knew at some point they were going to get around to Black Christmas. And I just remember the hatred, the venom that the online movie community had for this project, because it was pretty overwhelming. And honestly, I think the uproar over the Black Christmas remake was really much bigger than the uproar over the Halloween remake, or the Friday the 13th remake, or the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, or even some of the more sort of higher profile remakes that we got. And I think that's because Black Christmas, Bob Clark's Black Christmas, is a subtle, atmospheric, character-driven, suspense-driven masterpiece. There's no other word for it. It is a masterpiece. So to try and remake that by today's standards, we all just knew that the very first thing to go would be the subtlety, would be the focus on the characters, the focus on the suspense. We knew all that would be shed very, very quickly, and it would either be a sort of remake in name alone, where they just sort of took the bare bones plot of the original Black Christmas and just ran and did their own thing, or God forbid, they did try to make something somewhat subtle, somewhat character-driven, somewhat suspense-driven. They would only end up embarrassing themselves in the end. And either way, you're just not going to win. Now, I went into Black Christmas. I actually watched it in the theater like the week after it was released, the week after Christmas. And all of my fears, all of the dread that I felt about the remake beforehand, when I went in and I watched it and afterwards walking out, all that became a reality, because I absolutely, with every fiber of my being, hated this movie. Not just because it was a really, really bad remake of Black Christmas, but just because it was just a really, really bad movie and just seemed to take every wrong turn that you possibly could have made when tackling this material. And it was made even more confounding that Bob Clark was involved in the remake and actually gave the remake his blessing, and liked the idea that they were exploring the backstory of Billy and Agnes. I hated the movie. Hated the movie. However, it was one of those movies that just kept sort of, buzzing kind of in my ear. And I would catch it on TV here and there and kind of half-heartedly watch it. And every time I would watch it, I'd kind of go, the visuals aren't bad in this movie, or, the lighting in this movie is really, really good, or, I just love the sort of kinetic energy about the movie. And finally, eventually, I was going out and buying the thing on DVD, bringing it home, and giving it another chance, because every time I'd catch bits and pieces of it on TV, I kept noticing things that I actually liked. So it's a movie that the more that I saw it, the more that I warmed up to it. And much like Silent Night, which is another movie that I discussed for this series, I initially hated it. And upon a second viewing, after some time had passed, I warmed up to the movie. Now, Black Christmas is a little different because the more I watched it every time, the more I warmed up to it. And it was the kind of movie that I kind of, it sort of drew me to it, or it somehow drew itself to me. I'm not sure, but I found myself reaching for it and watching it just about every holiday season. And what they did with Black Christmas, the good of the Black Christmas remake, right off the bat, I love the look of the movie, the visuals in the movie, the color palette of the movie is totally Christmas. The colors, you've got deep reds, deep greens. It's just a beautiful movie to look at, and it absolutely captures that Christmas, wintry atmosphere and that feeling, and I really enjoy that. This is a Christmas movie. It's clearly a Christmas movie. There's snow everywhere. It looks to be absolutely freezing. The house is just beautifully decorated for Christmas. So the visuals in the film, the color palette in the film is absolutely amazing, I thought. The way the film was shot as well, it's almost like, with the colors and with the shots of the film, it's almost as if they took the movie straight off the pages of like a graphic novel. You have some really nice just camera work in the film. A lot of really nice inventive camera work and camera angles. So the movie looks really good. The movie moves really well as well. The pacing is just absolutely spot on. The kills in the movie, there are a lot of kills in this movie, and subtlety, nowhere to be found in the Black Christmas remake, because we just have blood and gore and crazy kills galore. You've got one girl gets scalped with a pair of ice skates. You've got a guy impaled on a Christmas tree. You've got eyes being gouged out left and right and being strung from their stalks on Christmas trees. A lot of eye damage going on in this movie, as a matter of fact. So you've got lots of kills, lots of bloody, gory kills. You've got gingerbread men, only instead of them being made out of gingerbread, they're made out of human flesh, dipped in milk, and just kind of nasty, but at the same time, kind of cool. And the movie has this, it just has this kind of energy about it that I really dig. And it doesn't take itself too seriously. And I like that also. So there is quite a bit to like with the Black Christmas remake, just from those standards alone. And the Black Christmas remake, much like the original, is very much a character-driven film. And you have a really good cast of young actresses in this film. You've got Michelle Trachtenberg, you've got Katie Cassidy, you've got Lacey Chabert, you've got Mary Elizabeth Winstead. You've got a really good core group of young actresses in this film as well. And you've got, I'm trying to think of her name. She plays the house mother in the Black Christmas remake. She was also in the original Black Christmas. What is her name? Andrea Martin is in the film as well. So nice little nod to the original Black Christmas that they got Andrea Martin to play the house mother in the remake. Now, the elephant in the room here with the Black Christmas remake, and something that I just can't get behind regardless of how many times I see the film, is the elaborate backstory that they gave to Billy. And Billy in the Black Christmas remake, he's this jaundiced, he's a baby born with jaundice. His mother hates him because he's not perfect. They keep him locked in the attic. His mother molests him. She then gives birth to Agnes, who is Billy's sister / daughter. He hates Agnes because she gets all the attention and all the love. So one night he goes off the rails. He tries to kill Agnes. He takes one of her eyes out. He kills his parents, and he makes gingerbread cookies of his mother's flesh. And all that, and even though it is well done technically, it's executed very well, it's shot very well, The violence is pretty well done. It just seems so incredibly unnecessary to explore that much of Billy's backstory. And one of the things that I loved, and one of the things that so many people love about the original Black Christmas, is the fact that there is no backstory to Billy. Billy is ultimately just a phantom. He gets away with it. We never get to see who he is. We don't understand why he's doing what he's doing. And I really like that about that. Adds such a creepy, mysterious aspect to the original Black Christmas. And at the end of that film, when you realize Billy is still out there, it's absolutely chilling. Here, Billy is not as scary, he's not as menacing, he's not as imposing. He's like this little short yellow guy who is crawling around in the ceilings and in the floors and everywhere. And the backstory, the whole Billy thing is just really unnecessary. Now add to the mix the fact that they throw Agnes into the mix as well as one of the killers. It just takes it over the top as far as why. That's an avenue that we did not need to explore, that they've taken even further. And we have Billy and Agnes killing the girls in this sorority house. And I can't get behind it. I just absolutely cannot get behind it. And then the ending of the movie, it's just one of those movies that it doesn't know how to end itself, and where it should have ended, it just keeps going. And there's this very tacked on ending in the hospital that was one of many endings that they went back and reshot to tack onto this movie. Why they chose, I can't imagine how bad the other endings are that they chose this ending. But just yikes. Really bad. Now granted, this was a Weinstein produced film, and of course they tampered with the movie as they tamper with pretty much all of their movies. However, the only thing that they wanted added to the film was more blood and more gore. And actually that benefits this movie. The blood and the gore works for the Black Christmas remake. They had no say in the backstory of Billy or of Agnes or of any of the above. That was all, thought out beforehand. That was where Glenn Morgan wanted to take this movie and explore Billy's backstory. And I just can't, as much as I try to like it, as much as I go, okay, it looks good, it's well shot, it does have a nice sort of sense of humor about itself, it just seems so pointless. It just seems so unnecessary. And all it really does is just take away from Billy as an imposing, scary figure. And the addition of Agnes, throwing her into the mix, is it's just too much. Too much. I still like the Black Christmas remake. Like I said, the movie just has this energy about it. I love the look of it. I love the colors of it. I love the over-the-top violence in it. The movie has a lot going for it. What it has going against it is really hard to overlook. So it is a mixed bag for me. I do recommend it. If it's one of those movies that you guys saw and you hated, I'd recommend giving it a second chance. I've heard from so many people out there who said, first time I watched it, I absolutely hated it. I rewatched it, and now I'm fine with it, or now I like it. I've heard a lot of people, seems like this is the kind of movie that as the years have passed, more and more people are coming out to defend it. It's almost like the new era's Friday the 13th Part 5. As time passes, more and more people seem to be warming up to the movie. And I've warmed up to it myself. I just can't, again, even when I think about the backstory with Billy and throwing in Agnes and all that, I just can't 100% get behind it. I'm at least 75% behind the Black Christmas remake, and why I wanted to add it to this list, and why I wanted to discuss it with you guys, and why I wanted to urge you guys to go out and give it a second chance. Much like Silent Night, this is the season for giving, so go give the Black Christmas remake a second chance. If you've seen the Black Christmas remake, please let me know what you think of it in the comments section below. Have you warmed up to it over the years? Have you given it a second chance? Do you want to give it a second chance? What do you think about the whole backstory with Billy? What do you think of the addition of Agnes? What do you think about the Black Christmas remake as a whole? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. They're also right around here. Hope you guys are all having a great, safe, and happy holiday season and are enjoying this series. I know I definitely am. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.